Okay, back to it again. Ready for the triple inequality. So we've got our boundaries. 2.7 less than, oh, I should go the limit minus the epsilon is where that came from. The function is 3 plus 2 sine x minus 1 less than, and on this side we want the limit plus the epsilon. That's our 3.3. Okay, the goal, do the algebra to solve for x in the middle. First few steps I'm sure you're not going to have a problem with. Subtract 3, subtract 3, subtract 3. We've got negative 0.3 less than 2 sine x minus 1 less than 0.3. Divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. Negative 0.15 less than sine x minus 1 less than 0.15. Okay, here's the trick. My x is trapped within the angle of sine. Do you remember from trig what undoes this? What's going to give me the angle? What undoes sine? And if you don't remember, it's inverse sine. You have to take the inverse sine of all three parts. So that inverse sine, remember, is sine to the negative 1. So we need the inverse sine of negative 0.15. Remember, your inverses are right above your regular sine, cosine, and tangent buttons. So inverse sine, what's that number? Negative 0.15. So negative 0.1506 should be good. Negative 0.1506. Here the sign will be gone and you'll be just left with x minus 1. And here, inverse sine of 0.15, 0.1506. And add 1. 1.1506 less than x. 1 minus 0.1506. 8494. And the delta then is the distance away from the x value of 1. So here the delta is 0.1506, and I believe this was symmetrical, so it doesn't matter. It's the same on both sides. So you should be able to calculate that delta algebraically and take yourself through it. Find the limit, set up the triple inequality, solve the triple inequality, then get the delta. 4 steps. Now we want to, same thing as before, we want to redo the whole thing, carrying along the epsilon value. So since it came out symmetrical, we only have to work out one side. They're the same, so it does not matter. I'm going to choose to do the right-hand side. So the second part, for any epsilon, I'm just going to redo this line. 3 plus 2 sine x minus 1 less than, it was the limit of 3 plus now any epsilon. That's a bad E. And we'll go through those steps. Subtract 3. 2 sine x minus 1 less than epsilon. Divide by 2. Sine of x minus 1 less than epsilon over 2. At this point we did the inverse sine on both sides. So inverse sine, I'll make this a little bigger again. Inverse sine of all this, inverse sine of that, those cancel, x minus 1 is less than the inverse sine of epsilon over 2. Add 1. So x is less than inverse sine of epsilon over 2, and I'm going to plus 1. So at this point, I am right here. I'm all the way down where I solve for the x. So if I was to put in the 0.3 from above in here and put this in a calculator, I will get this number right here. But again, that's the x boundary, that's not the delta. So what did we do to this number to get to this number? We subtracted 1 from it because we wanted the distance away from 1. So I have to do the same thing here. So I need to subtract 1. That's going to cancel that. That leaves inverse sine of epsilon over 2. Oops. Subtracted 1. Those canceled. Delta equals inverse sine of epsilon over 2. One more. Actually, I think I'm going to quit. I'm going to quit. Let me see. The assignment is going to be to finish up those 3 graphs and let me get there. We're going to do 7, 8, and 9. So finish the graph, and then on page 45, 7, 8, and 9.